Hello everybody, it's Dana Sullivan, the Stampin' Chick, here with February's Paper Pumpkin Bouquet of Hope kit. How are y'all today? I hope that you guys are doing well. Oh boy, I'm telling you, this week has been a hot mess, hasn't it? Let me just look and make sure that I'm in the right group and that I'm here live. I think, looks like I am. Very good. All right, so if you're here, say hello, and let me get this set up here, and hopefully some folks will start coming in so that I'm not all alone. All right, how are you all today, my friends? I hope you're doing well. I'm sorry about Tuesday evening. I got stuck in Knoxville for several hours longer than I anticipated being, and so I'm really sorry I wasn't able to come on, but I'm here this evening, and I hope that you guys are ready to get your craft on. All right, folks, so this is the February kit, Bouquet of Hope, and I'm going to go ahead and get started. So when we open the box, we see that we have 3 different designs of cards, and these are sentimental type cards, thinking of you, sorry for your loss, support, and that sort of thing. So there's 3 each of 3 different designs of cards, and the stamp set that comes with it has a really beautiful floral bouquet. It's got a little cluster of flowers, a couple of rain or dew drops, and then some really pretty sentiments. So one of them says, sorry for your loss. The other one is sharing in your sorrow, thinking of you, and wishing I could be there to hold your hand, which I think is so sweet. And then I'll always be here for you. So fabulous. All right, and then the ink spot that comes in this month's kit is the Mossy Meadow ink pad, which I love, one of my favorite colors. Let me go ahead and pull out this month's projects. Now, I have been playing a little bit, and let me grab my Mossy Meadow ink pad right here. You folks know that I like using my full-size ink pads, so there's nothing at all wrong with the ink spots. So if you don't have the full-size ink pad, of course, use that. Some of the colors that coordinate with this kit are Mary Merlot, Bumblebee, Just Jade, and Rococo Rose. And I think these are really pretty colors together, don't you? I love them. All right, so this month's kit comes with the Mossy Meadow, so let's get that one out. Now, we have the 3 different cards, and they're really quick and simple to do this month, so there isn't a whole lot of thought to them. These are ones that you could certainly do on a moment's notice, and that's a wonderful thing. I love that. So, all right, let me set these out of the way and go with this one. So this one has an envelope that's got the green striped paper liner on the inside. And of course, you guys know by now that whenever a paper pumpkin kit has that patterned inside to an envelope, I'm likely to dismantle at least one of them. And yes, I have dismantled one each of the envelopes so that I can play with this designer paper. So I will show you those here in a bit, but let's go ahead and get right to this card. All right, so you're going to need the floral patterned paper, one of the gold foil doilies, and then one of the labels here. Now, if you recognize this, this coordinates with the story label punch. And I'm going to tell you a little trick about this thing here in just a minute, okay? Now, because these are photopolymer stamps, you know that I'm going to mention you need a pierce mat or some kind of a cushion type mat, a book or whatever that you can use to stamp on so that you get a nice clean image. All right, and as I said, I was playing earlier, so let me just wash off my stamp right quick. I've colored it with Mary Merlot, and while that would look nice with this card, that's not the color that we're using for this project. So, all right, I've got Sorry for Your Loss stamp. And of course we tap, 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 not smush, smush, smush. And we're going to tap it directly onto the center. I'm going to try to line it up here in the center of our label. Not too shabby. Let me close it up and get it out of the way. All right. So on the instructions, it shows, it's kind of hard to see, but they've strung a little bit of the green twine. What did I do with it? There we go. They've strung a little bit of the green twine behind the label and then glued it onto the gold foil. So they're doing really well about pictures, showing you how to assemble things, which is nice. And so let me set this out of the way. I'm going to take some Stampin' Seal, and I'm going to avoid the outer edges just because I don't want any adhesive to come through the openings. And we don't really need to have adhesive all the way to the edges. I'm just going to make sure that the middle is covered really good. And then we'll stick this down pretty much in the center of the card. All right. And then I can put a little strip of Stampin' Seal in the center of the doily. And then I'm just going to put the end in there and kind of loop it around pretty much. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to put this on dimensionals. How's everyone doing this evening? Are you guys having nicer weather where you are? Here in East Tennessee, it's been really nice for the last few days. I've been able to wear short sleeves and sit out on the deck and just enjoy the weather, and it's been beautiful. All right, so now we're going to place the Sorry for Your Loss just right down on there. And then I'm going to grab the sequins that I didn't pull out yet. All right. And the instruction shows that there's 5 of them on there. You guys know that I like to do these projects based on what the instruction shows. So I'm going to try to make it as close as possible. So we'll put 2 of them up here. And then we'll put 3 down here at the bottom. Come here, friend. There we go. That one tried to get away from me. All right, there we go. So that is card number 1. And, you know, if I were going to stamp the inside and the envelope, which you know, what do I always say? No naked insides and no naked envelopes. So I might... let's see here. I might stamp the bouquet in the Mossy Meadow. And maybe I stamp it just off a little bit. There we go. And then we can leave room for this, or we could put, I'll always be here for you inside there. That'd be nice too. And then on the envelope, I'll do basically the same thing. So I'm just going to take that stamp and stamp it partially off. And then maybe instead of stamping that again, because these envelopes have a nice little point on them, maybe I'll just do that. Okay. So now we have no naked inside and no naked envelopes. Ooh, Amy says it's 25 degrees and windy in Maine. Oh my goodness. That's too cold. I feel for you, Miss Amy. I'm so sorry. All right, card number 1 is done. Card number 2 has this really nice bumblebee polka dotted lined envelope. So, you know, I loved that one. Probably my favorite. Okay, and then in the kit, there are a handful of these, I think 3 of them. Beautiful vellum with gold foil floral type print around it. So I told you that I would mention about the story label punch, and so I'll tell you what I did with this. Let me just grab the punch right quick. Okay, so before I used the frame of this for one of my projects, I took the story label punch and I was able to punch a couple of the labels, and then I cut around the edge of the gold foil so that it made just a pretty vellum and foil frame. And because I had punched the story label shapes out first, I was able to go in with my scissors and just cut evenly. So I didn't have to cut from the edge or reassemble it or anything like that. I could just cut the inside out and make it a really pretty frame. So that was a nice thing and a way to stretch the supplies for the kit, right? Because I could use the frame for one project and then the punched out pieces for something else. Now, I'm not going to do that with this one, obviously, because you'd be able to see it. So this one, we're going to have to be very careful about how we attach this one. And I recommend using your liquid glue and just putting a little dot of glue. Excuse me, my throat is going to be scratchy. When the weather changes, and it's not COVID, but the weather changes and my throat gets scratchy and it's allergies, you know. But anyway, of course it could be that I'm talking too much today too. I was just live on my YouTube channel, and then I came directly over here too. So my big mouth hasn't stopped moving in the last hour. So maybe that's what it is. All right, so I'm just putting little dots of liquid glue basically where the leaves are. I'm not worrying about the inside of the frame at all because it doesn't matter. As long as we have enough glue around the edges, and these little dots are going to be just fine. This will be good to hold it down and keep it from going anywhere, so we don't have to worry about it much. So just put little dots of glue, and notice how little I'm putting. I'm really not even touching the bottle that much. I'm barely touching it at all to get it to come out. So I'm not squeezing it or anything like that. I'm just lightly touching it, and then we'll layer this right in. Just like that. And then you see how it holds down. It's not going anywhere, and you can't see where the glue is. So it's a little tedious to do that, but It makes it really nice, and it keeps you from seeing any of the glue spots. All right, and then we're going to put down some of our little our little die cut pieces here. So I'm just going to use a little bit of Stampin' Seal. Hey now. And I'll put this one down here, like that. And I'll put this one up here, like this. There we go. And then I need one of those die cut sheets. Okay, now we have 3 different languages of thinking of you here, and Stampin' Up! Suggests that you remove the black background before you try to remove the sentiment. And I'm going to be careful about how I cut this out, because I'm thinking that I could probably use these negative black spaces to die cut or punch something. So I'm just going to come along and I'm going to cut away the space that's big enough to do anything with. Just like so. And of course I'm going to cut in between the 2 words because I don't need those. So here we go. So if any of our French Canadian speaking folks would like any of these, the French ones, to just let me know. Maybe I can send them over to you. I won't be able to use them. So, okay, let me cut these around. I don't know if we have any German speaking folks in here, but you're welcome to the other ones. Alright, so I'm just cutting around the words and separating the 2 sentiments here. And then I'm going to tell you that if you give it a nice little rub, that it will help you peel it off easier. So I'm going to go ahead and pull all of this negative stuff off. Let me bring my trash bin over here, that way I don't get it all over the place. There we go. I could have already had this done for us, but that's okay. You can see the struggle in real time. Alright, there we go. I think that it definitely does make it easier to get the thinking of you off when you pull all of this negative stuff out. It doesn't stretch and distort the words like it would otherwise. So let's go ahead and get these all pulled off. There we go. Almost done. These cards are really, really pretty and quick and easy to do, so taking a minute here to pluck all this stuff out really isn't too bad. Okay. There we go. And I think that's it. There we are. Alright. Now you can go ahead and use your take your pick tool. You could pull the whole thing off if you want to. But I'm going to leave part of it on. And I'm just going to loosen up the top of it. And this way I don't distort it so much. So I'm pulling it down a bit, but then I'm going to fold it over here. So this way I can see where I want it to go. And I think that's pretty good. And then I'm going to place that down, and then I can just peel the rest of this off. Well, I could peel the rest of it off. And then lay it on, and it won't distort. You see? It won't distort our words there. So that's a quick little tip for you to help keep it from getting all wonky and crazy. And then we need a dimensional here to put this on. So I'll just put that on a dimensional and then put that right there. All right, there we go. So now with this one, you know, I'm gonna use some different colors besides just the green. However, you know, doing the same thing that we did on this one would be just fine. I'm going to go ahead and clean that bouquet stamp, and I think I'm going to stamp it in Rococo Rose. Let me clean off my flowers here and my sentiment. So I'm kind of going against the rules here just a little bit. I know that typically I only use what's in the kit for these projects, but I think that the pink will be very pretty, so let me just show you what that looks like. Alright, Rococo Rose. Tap, 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 not smush, smush, smush. And let's go about like that. There we are. Isn't that pretty? I love it. Alright, so we have that. Now, you know, because we've got that bumblebee color, we could use bumblebee flowers, and that kind of pulls them in here. So maybe we do something like this, and then like that. Huh? Pretty, pretty. And then that coordinates nicely with that card. Alright, so there's card number 2. Let me stick card number 1 in its envelope there. Alright, card 1, card 2. Very pretty. Okay, card number 3. I really like the patterns on the envelopes. They're really nice. Okay, and then we've got a Just Jade diagonal striped card base, which is super pretty. You got some bumblebee polka dotted banners. So this card goes this direction, and we're going to put that right about there. And then these big floral bouquets were so pretty. I would have liked to have had a bunch more of these. It was a lot of fun to play with this one. It's just beautiful. So that's going to go right about there. And then we'll stamp, I'll always be here for you on this piece, and it'll go right about there. So let's get that stamped and set off to the side. Tap, 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 not smush, smush, smush. All right. See if I can line this up. Okay. All right. Get that out of the way. Okay. Now the first thing we'll do here is get some seal on this banner. And then I'm going to put it right about there. I'm going to straighten it up a little first, though. Well, it is straight. Never mind. Okay, and then we'll put our flowers up on dimensionals. So let me get some of those here. Love using all of my scraps. You guys know I'll use the whole outside. I hope that y'all do too, because that's a lot of Stampin' Dimensionals that you can use. And there we go. Get your money's worth out of them. Alright. The only downside to using a lot of dimensionals is that you have to peel the backs off of all of them. Alright. Now I'm just going to put this at an angle, right, like so. And the only rule with this is you want to make sure that it stays within the edges of your card base, okay? So just make sure you don't put it over the edge accidentally. All right, and then we'll go ahead and put this and I think I'm going to pop it up twice. I don't know that the instruction actually says that. It probably has you glue one side, but I'm going to do a double dimensional on one side and a single dimensional on this side. And what that's going to do is it's going to pop the sentiment up just a little bit higher than my bouquet there, so it'll fit together really nicely. Now, I'm sure that I've mentioned to you folks before, but I have a pretty hard and fast rule about the number of layers of dimensionals that you should use on a card if you're planning to put it in the mail, and that's 2 layers total. So we have 2 layers of dimensionals here. We have 1 layer and 1 layer, which is 2 layers of dimensionals here. So this is as thick as I would want it to be in order to stick it in the mail. All right, so now we need to get some of those little black sequins again. And let's see, we'll put one there and one there. And then one up here. There we go. All right, so there you have it. And then if I'm doing the inside of this one, maybe I'm gonna do Mary Merlot. Let me bring in my Pierce mat. And maybe this time I'm gonna bring it, maybe I'll bring it just like that. There we go. And then for the envelope, let me clean my little flowers off. And let's do turn around there. There we go. All right. Okay, friends, there we have it. Our 3 projects for this month's Paper Pumpkin. Super cute little cards. Unfortunate circumstances that you may need them. You know, we never want to think about needing a sorry for your loss or anything like that, but we all know that we do need them occasionally, so it's nice to have them on hand, isn't it? All right, so there's Sorry for Your Loss, thinking of you, and I'll always be here for you. Very pretty cards, lots of beautiful colors, and yeah, the kit is great. And then, you know, if you don't want to do these projects, of course, the alternative projects are super fabulous and a lot of fun as well. So let me get right to showing those to you now. Have to grab them out of the box. Okay. So my first project is this fabulous little gatefold card, and I'm using the label with the flower to act as a buckle. So the label tucks just underneath the flower, and that's what keeps it closed. And then there's plenty of room to write in it, and when I'm ready to close it up, I just tuck the label back underneath the flower, and it's done. So I used one of the envelopes for the polka dotted background pieces here. So this is a disassembled envelope and bumblebee cardstock. And then I used tuxedo black ink for the sentiment instead of green. I liked the idea of putting one of the little sequins in the center of the flower. I thought that worked out really well. And I've lost a sequin, actually. There was a third sequin on here. I don't think I pushed it down very well. So, let me get another one here. There we go. All right. Okay, so there is alternative project number 1. Alternative project number 2 uses a piece of Rococo Rose cardstock and some of the shimmery ribbon from the annual catalog. And then this is one of the floral bouquet images that I've stamped and then colored with Stampin' blends. And then I used Light Pool Party ink for the background just to help it stand out better from the background itself. And then as you can see here, this is one of those gold doilies, which I hated to hide, but it really worked out nicely. I love it. And then I used the Dainty Diamonds embossing folder to get that beautiful textured background, and some of the sequins to finish it off. And then on the inside, sharing in your sorrow, thinking of you and wishing I could be there to hold your hand, with the stamped floral bouquet on the inside. Alright, so there's alternative project number 2. Alternative project number 3 is using the Flower and Field Designer Series paper. We were told on the Paper Pumpkin website and their Facebook page that this kit coordinated with the Flower and Field Designer Series paper. So I wanted to bring that paper in and use it on one of the alternative projects. So for this one, I've started with a Mossy Meadow cardstock base that's 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5.5 inches. And then I have a 4 inch by 5 1/4 inch piece of the Flower and Field Designer Series paper. And I've wrapped the Mossy Meadow twine around the DSP twice and tied it into bow before I attached it to the base. Now you can see in the background here is one of those storybook punched vellum pieces that I cut from the scrap of the framed layer. And then I stamped the sentiment on the label, put it on dimensionals, put some of the little sequins, and then on the inside stamped the bouquet just off the edge and sorry for your loss. Number 4 was a lot of fun. This one is called the Floating Scrappy Strip Technique. So we've seen the scrappy strip technique all over the place before. In this case, it's popped up. Each strip is popped up using a foam adhesive strip, and it gives a really nice textured dimensional look to the card itself. So it's pretty neat how it works. And then I used one of the bigger floral dies and the little, or die cut and the little floral die cut to embellish it and put the Thinking of You on here. And I did this the same way as I showed you with the kit card, how I had pulled everything away from it and then layered it on and then peeled the backing off the rest of the way. And that really helped to be able to apply it on there without distorting it and without it getting stuck in between the strips or anything like that. So this was a lot of fun. And then on the inside, I just stamped Rococo Rose Floral Bouquet on the inside and left plenty of room to write a sweet little note. So that's alternative card number 4. Alternative card number 5 is a very simple, very pretty. This is using what was left of the envelope that I cut for this one, because as you can see, this is the second envelope inside. and there was just a little 1-inch strip left, so I put that on here, and then put the floral bouquet on dimensionals, put a little sequin in the middle of a few of the flowers, and then stamped "I'll always be here for you." So everything on this card is in the kit except a piece of white cardstock. So this one will be easy to recreate with very limited supplies. And then on the inside, I just stamped the floral clusters in Bumblebee. So it's super cute. I love this one. And then my last project is a treat holder, because I can't do alternative projects without doing a treat holder. And typically when a paper pumpkin kit is all cards, I try to do more treats than cards. But this month it just worked out that I did a lot more cards. So I did have to do at least one treat holder. And I just did this sweet little Ghirardelli chocolate treat holder. I'll be posting the dimensions and instructions for this treat holder on my blog on Saturday. I believe Saturday. There's a paper pumpkin blog hop going on, and so I'm going to put this one in there. So stay tuned to my blog, which is stampinchicktn.blogspot.com, or you can just type thestampinchick.com and it'll take you right to my blog. And you'll be able to see the measurements and instructions for this one here. So this was a lot of fun, and you could use any of the tag topper punches that you'd like. And I just used one of the floral pieces, and this is Bumblebee cardstock. So anyway, there's my samples. I hope that you guys have enjoyed them, and I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. Remember that Celebration is only going on for a few more days, so you have through Sunday evening to get any of the Celebration items that you'd like to get for free. And also to sign up for the Ultimate Bundle, the starter kit, $125 worth of product for only $99. Plus, you get all 5 of these fabulous paper packs, which are not even available for sale yet. And the patterns are absolutely gorgeous. And the papers are beautiful, and those are all free. So that's $60 worth of paper on top of the bonuses of $125 worth of product for only $99 and free shipping. Plus, you could be on the Stampin' Chicks team, and of course, I would love to have you. So if you'd like to sign up, just let me know, and I will get you set up and ready to go. And then last but not least, my drawing that's going on until the end of the month is for every $50 that you purchase, you get an entry to win the free mini cut and emboss machine, which is so cute, and it's a fabulous little die cut machine. And you get an entry for every $50 that you purchase from me using this host code. So pause the screen, memorize it, write it down. Visit my website, danasullivan.stampinup.net. Place your order, put that host code, and you will get an entry to win. And then I'll be doing the drawing on Monday evening, March 1st, during my Make It Monday video. Okay? All right, guys. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me this evening. And until next time, I will talk to you later. Bye for now.